The writer of the upcoming Star Wars Dawn of the Jedi movie claims that the film will not be handcuffed by lore. Now let's get into what this means. So me, just like I'm sure many of you, when you first saw this title, were very thrown aback and upset. Now this is exactly what happened to me when I saw the post online claiming that the writer of the Dawn of the Jedi movie was not going to be using any pre-existing lore for his upcoming Star Wars movie, because we've seen this many of times and it has never played out good. I'm gonna leave it at that. Now, going a little deeper into the article that I read, trying to understand where he was coming from, I found, as I normally do, another side to take and kind of think of in a different light. Now, first, you are drawn to this because of the outrage that is going to be pouring out because of it and the issues you're going to have with it. Now, why would this writer not use any lore? Why is he doing this? He wants to make his own story. We've seen this many times. But on the other hand, I am going to look at it in a different light and hopefully change some of your minds, or at least give you some hope for this movie. Because I know as many others, are very excited for this film, and I don't want to lose hope in it when it is not even in the beginning stages. There's still a lot of time to go for this movie, what it could be about, the route it's going to take, so I am just going to try and preach some patience and look at this in a different light. Now, if you want to remain upset about this and don't want to hear me out, then please, of course, click off the video. I'm not going to try to persuade you or change your mind or make you think this way. I just kind of want to have a one-sided debate with myself and put it out there for you guys to hear. Now, the other side I am thinking about in this is him, in a really weird, odd, roundabout way, say that he is not going to be chained down by what comes after this movie. Now, of course, one way you can take this, which is how a lot of people have initially taken it at face value, is that he is not going to go back and read any of the EU lore when it comes to the Dawn of the Jedi era. But how I want to look at it potentially is him saying that he doesn't want to be handcuffed by the pre-existing lore that George Lucas and or Disney has created. Hopefully he means that he is not going to make this movie thinking too much about the Skywalker saga and what comes in the tens of thousands of years following, because it is so far removed from all of that. Which was, if you go back and look at some of my videos or even just do a quick Google search, was the initial pitch for this movie and how it was pitched to us as fans when it was announced, that it was set tens of thousands of years before the Skywalker saga and a whole new era on the Star Wars timeline. So hopefully that quote is just him kind of taking that idea and saying, hey, we're not going to be pinned down by the Skywalkers, there's no Palpatine, there's no good, evil, this is purely about the religion of the Force and how the Jedi and the Force came to be. There's not going to be references to Skywalkers and Vader and yada yada yada. This is going to be its own story that sets up the ideas of the Force and midichlorians maybe in that movie. In this very interview, he even has a quote that says, "To me, really important aspects are the freedom to make something new," which is basically the long story short version of what I just tried to say, being that he doesn't want to feel tied down to what is essentially coming in the universe that he is writing for. Because as upset as some people may be about these comments, I think they'd be even more upset if a movie that took place 200,000 years before the Skywalker saga mentioned anything that wasn't just a simple idea in that saga. Which again is the side I'm taking. I'm giving him some slack here. I think he just really poorly worded that. As we know, a lot of these Star Wars employees do not have any media training, so I'm sure he didn't mean any harm by it. But again, if he did and it turns out that this movie just strays so far away from the book and is a ridiculous piece of slop, I will take back everything I said. But for now, I trust this guy. He wrote the One Way Out episode of Andor. Great episode, which some believe to be the best. He also did a lot of other writing work on Andor, so I trust him. He's done great for Star Wars so far, and I think giving him this movie, which is set so far away from everything else, is a good idea. But those are just my quick thoughts about this article that has been circulating throughout Star Wars social media for a few days now, and me just kind of trying to make some sense of it. I could be wrong, obviously, but we will just have to wait and see for the final verdict when this movie comes out, or at least when we hear a little bit more about what it's going to entail. But I am done talking for now. I really want to hear what you have to say down in the comments below. And per usual, I will be reading and responding to all those comments in the coming days. Also, while you're at it, make sure to leave a like on the video and of course subscribe to the channel if you're new. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.